Hey there, how y'all doing? I hope you are good on this rainy day here in Coburg, Ontario. That's where I am at. I today want to talk about being exhausted. How many of you are just exhausted? No matter how much sleep you get, you can get that 8 hours of sleep and you still wake up the next morning and you feel like you didn't sleep at all, or you had disrupted sleep, or you didn't get into REM, or you woke up several times thinking about things you need to do, or you woke up earlier than you wanted to. How many of you are going through this right now? I feel like there's an epidemic of this. So that exhaustion, that feeling of never having enough time in the day, of trying to make it more time for sleep, feeling like you need to drink coffee in order to keep awake and keep going and keep motivated in your day, you know, eating different things like eating sugar at a certain point of the day. Man, I used to do that all the time. It was like 3 o'clock hit and it was like, I need that sugar pick me up, or I need that coffee pick me up, or something, right? How many of you are feeling that right now? How many moms are out there that are just like trying to do everything on their own? Single moms, even married moms, how many of you are trying to like pick your kids up? You've become the taxi, you're, the chef, you're the house cleaner, the maid, the laundry person, and then you have a job or you run a business and everybody wants a piece of you. And it just leaves you feeling utterly exhausted to the point where maybe by the end of your week, you don't actually want to go anywhere. You don't want to people. You have days that you just are like, I can't people. I can't deal with people. People are exhausting. The more time I spend with people, they're exhausting. And then I don't know if some of you feel this way. Like I've been here too, where you get to that point where you're so exhausted from spending time with so many people and everybody pulling your energy that you don't even want to spend time with your husband or your loved one. You don't want to spend time with them because you're just like, I can't have anybody else pull my energy or want something else from me. How many of you feel that way? Right? Why does this happen? Where does this come from? Well, one of the reasons it could be happening, or at least that my story was, is that I didn't have any boundaries, right? So I didn't have any boundaries to say no to people. I didn't have any boundaries to put myself first, right? I didn't have any boundaries to not take on that next thing. Why? Because I didn't want to disappoint anybody. I didn't want people to go, oh, okay, I'll just have to find somebody else to do that for me. Or, oh, okay, I thought you were more giving than that. Or I didn't want to cause conflict, right? I didn't want people to be up in my face about saying no and why, and wanted a valid justification as to why I wanted to say no. But you know what I couldn't do? I couldn't say no until I got down to the root of everything and realizing that one of the reasons I couldn't say no is because I didn't have any self-worth, right? I didn't have any self-worth. I I didn't feel that I mattered and that my contribution to the world mattered unless I was doing things for other people. And I was constantly looking for that external validation from other people to tell me I was good and that I was a great person and that I was wonderful and everything else. And that's what lit me up. But I didn't have anything inside that was telling me that, which then led me down the cycle of doing too many things, which then led me down the cycle of burnout. Does this sound familiar to any of you? If it does, you're going to want to hear more. So we have to come to the actual point of where this all starts. And sometimes this starts from, a trauma in childhood, the way we were brought up, comparing to other people, like our brothers or sisters or other people in our family. Maybe it is a society thing that we actually put this in our mind and tell ourselves a story that we won't be accepted in society if we don't do these things. If we don't show up a certain way, that you won't keep your job if you don't say yes to that next thing. And then you get stuck, doing everything for the company, and you get stuck working extra hours, and your boss just keeps putting more and more and more on you because you've shown that you can handle it. Meanwhile, they don't see the other side of that, where inside And on the weekend and when you're not at work, you're completely breaking down, that you are having anxiety and panic attacks potentially, that you are not feeling well in your body, that you're overeating or undereating, that you're not supporting your body. I can't tell you how many people come across my Zoom room, and when I proxy and like feel in their energy field, they are like people just like I am right in front of you, but they feel so malnourished in the sense that their body just has stopped uptaking anything that we give it because they're on shutdown mode. They're in protection mode. They're in survival mode, right? They literally are living in a fight or flight situation every day of their life. And what does that do to the emotional body, the mental body, the physical body, right? What does that do? It just makes it weaker. It brings it down. It layers on the need for that validation. It layers on not putting ourselves first, not prioritizing our body, not looking at, oh, you know what, my head keeps hurting and I don't know why. Oh, you know what, I'm putting on weight and I don't know why. Oh, I have no energy. Literally, I feel like I might have chronic fatigue syndrome, but I don't know what's going on. Well, what if it's just that you haven't put yourself first? What if it's just that by saying yes all the time and by not having any boundaries and not having any self-worth, I hate to say it, you're slowly killing yourself, right? So let's talk more about this. On June 27th at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom, I'm going to be hosting a free masterclass, and we're going to talk about all of these things come together. We're going to be talking about the physical body and what happens to your physical body when, the boundaries are not there, when you're maybe not allowing yourself to take care of yourself, where your self-worth is low. We're going to be talking about that feeling of being exhausted, of maybe, need to look a little bit closer at, as a result of this, maybe your adrenals are actually affected. Maybe your hypothalamus is actually shutting down. Maybe your thyroid is changing. It could be a whole pile of different things. But ultimately, what we need to understand is that everything is connected in the body, right? I'm sure you remember when you were a kid, you had that song, oh, the shoulder bone is connected to the elbow bone and everything else, right? Like you've always had everything connected. Well, when we're under chronic stress, when we're not sleeping, when we're not taking care of our body, drinking enough water, drinking too much coffee, when we're not taking the time to slow down, when we're not saying no to things and actually creating ourselves as the priority, this physically affects the body. And then it affects the emotional field. I don't know about you, but I find the days that I don't take that 5 minutes to start in meditation, okay, and I don't have that foundational grounding of actually just being in my body and just like being completely connected with who I am and just taking that minute to do that are the days that I make terrible decisions. The days that something comes up across my day and I'm not expecting it and I just get like bent out of shape about it or I handle it poorly. But the days that I take the time to take the time, then I find that things go better and I make better decisions and I make better choices. And it doesn't, I really want to emphasize here, meditation does not mean that you have to sit in complete silence. Oh, that's not what meditation is. Meditation is slowing the brain down. Okay. And it doesn't happen right away. And it doesn't happen for everybody anyway, where the brain just ends up clear. It's not something of nothingness. It takes a long time to get to that point, and some people never get there, and that's okay. Like, it's just actually slowing down and taking that 5 minutes for yourself. It's calling all of you back to you, and it's pushing everything out of your field that doesn't need to be in your field at that moment. It's that no one else is pulling on your energy. How would that feel every morning? Wouldn't that feel awesome? Okay. If you would like to know more about this, like I said, I'm hosting that masterclass on June 27th, which is a Tuesday evening, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. You can look for the registration for this on my website at purplemoonhealing.com. It is under workshops and retreats and under events as well. But if you want to come and sign up and just see what it's all about, I would love to have you in there. If you want to get some help with how to create a new system for yourself and like create some new habits, come on in there, because every other single person that is in that group is going through the same thing that you are. And I have been there too. So I hope to see you there. Okay. Have a great one.